Hey warriors, stop scrolling. You and I need to talk. Because you are losing your lives in the smallest, quietest way. You can't be consistent, and it's destroying what you were meant to be. Every dream that once burned inside you. You promised yourself you would follow through on the plans you made. You're not dying because you're lazy. They're not fading because you're weak. They're slipping away because your mind is broken seconds before you're lazy. Every single time. If this sounds painfully familiar, stay here. The next few moments may just save the next decade of your life. Take a close look at your life. There are days when you're unstoppable, focused, driven, purposeful. And then there are days when you're lost in confusion, doubt, comfort, or fear. This inconsistency is not random. It is a silent battle between your higher mind and your emotional mind, between discipline and ego, between intention and emotion. The Stoics understood this duality deeply. They believed that the strongest person is not the one who conquers the city, but the one who conquers his own kind. Marcus Aurelius said, "Your actions shape your days shape your life. Discipline is destiny." Think about it. Your life is not changed by big moments. It is shaped by the small moments you repeat every day. The moments when you choose comfort over effort, escape over progress, excuses over consistency. Consistency is not motivation. It is not propaganda. It is not a feeling. It is the ability to act even when every part of you wants to give up. Imagine a stone carved by water. Each drop seems meaningless. Yet over time, it transforms mountains. That's what consistent action does to your life. It reshapes your identity. It rewrites your destiny. It silences the chaos within and replaces it with clarity. But before you can be consistent, you have to understand the truth. You don't reach your goals. You fall at the level of your habits. And today, you will rise even higher. Because, warriors, in this video, I will reveal 9 Stoic truths that will finally help you be consistent and transform your life from the inside out. But first, share this with someone who gives up. And if you're new, please subscribe. Now breathe. Lock in. Because today, your transformation begins. Point 1. Small daily actions build unshakable discipline. Warrior, stop right here. Because the moment you think of scrolling away, that's the same moment you lose discipline in your real life. Not in dramatic failures, not in life-changing disasters, but in the tiny, quiet choices that look harmless. That's where your destiny is built or destroyed. You don't lose discipline when everything falls apart. You lose it when you hit snooze for just 10 more minutes. You lose it when you whisper to yourself, "I'll start tomorrow." You lose it when you choose comfort over growth, not loudly, but silently. One invisible decision at a time. Discipline is not a dramatic explosion. It's a slow burn, a steady flame that refuses to die. It's the power of showing up when no one is watching, when motivation is gone, when doubt is loud, when the world offers every excuse to stop. Picture this. A craftsman in a dim, dusty room. No applause, no audience, just the rhythm of a chisel hitting stone, again and again and again, until the shapeless block becomes something worth staring at. That's your life. That's your transformation. Quiet, repetitive, unseen. The Stoics understood this perfectly. Strength doesn't come from bursts of intensity. It comes from unbroken continuity. Epictetus said the true battlefield isn't the world outside, but the silent war inside your mind. Marcus Aurelius reminded us, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Meaning, stop waiting for motivation. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting to feel ready. Start small, today, now. Because you know the truth. You've felt it. You set the alarm for 5 a.m. with fire in your heart. But when it rings, your mind tells a story. You deserve rest. You worked hard yesterday. You'll start strong tomorrow. That isn't kindness. That isn't rest. That's resistance. And it wins through negotiation. Tiny, believable, deadly negotiation. Your ego wants massive results overnight. Lose 20 pounds fast. Build the dream instantly. Transform your life in a week. But the brain doesn't change through intensity. It changes through repetition. You become what you repeatedly do. Every day, you cast a vote. I am someone who follows through. Or, I am someone who breaks my own promises. Identity is formed piece by piece, and identity becomes destiny. Think of discipline like a tree. You don't plant a seed and get shade the next morning. You water it on days you don't feel like it. You protect it when storms hit. You let the roots grow in the dark, quietly, invisibly, faithfully. One day, without realizing it, it becomes unshakable. Or imagine water dripping on stone. One drop does nothing, but thousands, over time, carve through rock. Small actions break impossible obstacles. Then one morning, something shifts. You wake up with clarity. Choices become easier. Your path becomes straighter. The voice of doubt gets quieter. The voice of discipline becomes your guide. Not because life became easier, but because you became stronger. So, here's your real test. Tomorrow morning, when comfort whispers, when excuses line up perfectly, when the bed feels like heaven, do the thing you said you'd do. Not because it's easy, because you decided it, because this is who you are becoming. One small action, one promise kept. Read one page, take one walk, do one push-up, write one paragraph, show up for 5 minutes. The size doesn't matter. The consistency does. Discipline is repetition. Repetition becomes identity, and identity shapes your destiny. One small action at a time. Warrior. Start today. Let the strength you build now create the life you'll live tomorrow. Comment below. What small action will you commit to today? Point 2. Your identity is shaped by what you repeat. Pause for a moment and truly listen. Your life isn't being shaped by the big dramatic moments. It's being sculpted quietly, invisibly, in the choices you repeat day after day. Every habit, every decision, every action you take, or fail to take, casts a vote for who you are becoming. Identity isn't declared in grand speeches or overnight transformations. It's built in silence, one repetition at a time. Think of your morning. You wake up, groggy, tempted to scroll, to linger under warm blankets, to postpone life's responsibilities. Each time you give in, you're reinforcing a version of yourself that chooses comfort over growth. Each time you rise, show up and take action, you're voting for a self that honors commitments, strengthens character, and builds unshakable identity. The Stoics understood this deeply. Epictetus said, "We are what we repeatedly do." Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. Marcus Aurelius echoed it. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Every repeated act color your inner world. Every daily choice molds the person who will face tomorrow. Imagine a painter with an empty canvas. Each brushstroke may seem minor, yet repeated day after day, the small strokes accumulate into a masterpiece. Your identity works the same way. One day, no one may notice your effort. One day, the world may seem indifferent. But the repetition is changing you from within, carving habits into the core of your being. Your mind will resist. It loves shortcuts, grand gestures, and promises of instant transformation. Skip today, it won't matter, it whispers. Wait until motivation strikes. That's the illusion of ease. Identity doesn't bend to inspiration, it bows to repetition. The self you want isn't found in a moment of passion. It's forged in the quiet, consistent acts you perform when no one is watching. Consider a blacksmith hammering metal. Each strike alone is small, almost meaningless. But thousands of repeated blows transform raw iron into a sword. Your repeated actions are the hammer. Your character is the steel. Each choice you honor, each promise you keep, strengthens the edge of your identity until it's unbreakable. So, here's your challenge, warrior. Today, choose one action and repeat it. Read a page, write a paragraph, complete a workout, speak the truth. Follow through on one commitment, not for applause, not for recognition, not for instant results, but because each repetition is a vote cast for the person you're becoming. Each act adds to the architecture of your identity. Each repeated choice shapes the life you will inevitably live. Your identity is not given. It is earned. It is built silently, invisibly, steadily, until one day you wake up and realize you've become the person you promised yourself you would be. Comment below. What one action will you repeat daily to shape the person you want to become? Point 3. Motivation is temporary. Discipline is eternal. Stop for a moment and pay attention. That surge of energy you feel when a new goal excites you, that rush, that fire, that's a motivation. It feels powerful, unstoppable, almost magical. But here's the truth few admit. Motivation is fleeting. It's a spark, not a flame. It comes and goes, swayed by mood, circumstance, and external events. Relying on it alone is like trying to light a campfire with a single match in the rain. One gust of wind, one distraction, one setback, and it's gone. Discipline, however. Discipline doesn't rely on feelings. It doesn't care if you're tired, scared, or uninspired. It exists quietly, consistently, even when motivation deserts you. Discipline is the long, steady rhythm beneath the chaos, the silent drumbeat that keeps your life moving forward when passion fades. Imagine a soldier marching before dawn. The body is exhausted. The mind resists. Motivation is absent. Yet the soldier moves, step after step, because training and discipline have become ingrained. Each repetition, each choice, each act of showing up builds a rhythm that motivation could never sustain. That's the difference. Motivation ignites, discipline endures. The Stoics taught this principle centuries ago. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Discipline is the way you exercise that power. Epictetus reminded us that freedom comes from mastery over ourselves, not from external rewards or fleeting feelings. Motivation may push you forward for a moment, but only discipline carries you through the days, weeks, months, and years when inspiration is absent. Think of a river cutting through rock. It's not the sudden downpour that shapes the canyon. It's the persistent flow, day after day, year after year, that carves the stone. Motivation is the rainstorm. Discipline is the river. One builds hope, the other builds reality. Your mind will constantly search for excuses. I'm tired. I'll do it tomorrow. I don't feel like it. That's motivation trying to dictate your actions. Discipline, on the other hand, doesn't negotiate. It shows up regardless. It's repeated commitment. It's the quiet voice saying, do what must be done, even when you don't feel like it. So, here's your challenge, warrior. Today, commit to one act that doesn't depend on motivation. Make your bed. Write a paragraph. Do a short workout. Meditate. Show up for yourself, even if inspiration is absent. Repeat it tomorrow. Repeat it the day after. Slowly, these repeated actions become identity, and identity becomes destiny. Remember, motivation sparks the journey, but discipline completes it. Motivation is temporary. Discipline is eternal. Comment below. What one act will you commit to today, even without motivation? Point 4. The mind lies, but actions reveal the truth. Have you ever noticed how your thoughts promise one thing, yet your life reflects another? How the mind whispers, "You'll start tomorrow. You're too tired. This small step won't matter," yet your reality doesn't lie. Your mind can craft illusions, excuses, and endless justifications, but your actions don't lie. They reveal who you truly are. Most people believe change comes from thinking harder, planning longer, or waiting for motivation. But the mind is a trickster. It can create drama, fear, and doubt so convincingly that you feel stuck before you even begin. That voice inside, convincing, persistent, persuasive, often speaks louder than your own values. It tells you that comfort is safety, that hesitation is protection, that delay is harmless. But every time you obey that voice, it quietly shapes a life you didn't intend to live. Actions, however, are impartial. They don't lie, they don't negotiate, they don't ask permission. They exist in the real world. Every choice you make, every habit you repeat, becomes a mirror of your character. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." In other words, stop letting your thoughts dictate your worth. Start letting what you do define it. Imagine planting a seed. The mind may say, "It won't grow. Wait for better soil," or "Do it tomorrow." But the soil doesn't listen. The sun doesn't argue. The water doesn't negotiate. Only consistent action, watering, tending, and patience brings growth. Your deeds are like that water. Over time, they carve the shape of your identity. Your thoughts may still complain, still hesitate, still distract, but the results are undeniable. Consider your morning routine. You think, "I'll skip the workout, I'll snooze, I'll relax." But each time you rise anyway, lace your shoes, take that first step. Your actions speak louder than the voice of doubt. That single choice, repeated day after day, proves your resilience, your priorities, your commitment. It is tangible, it is undeniable. It builds integrity and self-respect that the mind alone cannot manufacture. Stoicism teaches that the battlefield is inside, but the war is won through consistent, deliberate behavior. Epictetus reminded us that freedom begins when you stop being a prisoner to your own thoughts. You don't control every worry, every fear, every temptation, but you do control what you do. Your actions are the bridge between intention and reality. They are the truth in a world of mental illusions. Every day presents a choice. Will you follow the deceiving narratives of your mind, or will you act in alignment with your values? Will you obey hesitation or show up? Will you let fear dictate your path, or will courage take form in motion? Small, decisive actions, over and over, quiet the lies of the mind. They prove to yourself that you are more than your doubts, more than your anxieties, more than your procrastination. So today, identify one action that reflects who you want to be, not what your mind says. Take that step. Do the work, make the call, write the words, move your body. These actions, repeated, build an unshakable truth about yourself. One day, you'll look back and see that your life was not shaped by fleeting thoughts, but by consistent, honest deeds. Comment below. What action will you take today to let reality reflect your true self? Like, share, and subscribe for more insights from Stoicism and practical mental mastery. Point 5. Remove the optional. Focus on the essential life. Becomes heavy not because of what is necessary, but because of what we voluntarily carry. Every extra commitment, every trivial worry, every just-in-case thought adds weight to the mind. Energy leaks away quietly, attention fragments, and clarity disappears. The Stoics recognized this centuries ago. Simplicity is strength. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." Focus is born when the unnecessary is removed. Picture your mind as a workshop. Every tool, every material, every cluttered surface distracts from creating something meaningful. The essential tools, the ones that actually shape the work, must be clearly visible, easily accessible. The rest, set aside. Not everything deserves your attention, and not every action deserves your effort. This principle applies to daily life. Optional obligations, endless scrolling, minor distractions, social drama, repeated minor tasks act like invisible weights. They sap momentum without producing results. Essential activities, building skills, meaningful conversations, creating value, nurturing health, push you forward. The contrast is clear. Focus multiplies results, distraction dissipates them. Begin with one deliberate choice. Identify a task, habit, or thought that consumes time without purpose. Remove it entirely. Free the space it occupies and dedicate that energy to something indispensable. Over days and weeks, this repetition sharpens judgment, improves focus, and builds mental resilience. Small, intentional pruning creates profound freedom. Visualize your life as a tree. Every branch that grows without bearing fruit pulls energy from the main trunk. To thrive, remove those branches. The essential ones flourish, grow stronger, reach sunlight. This metaphor captures the power of eliminating the optional. Less clutter, more growth, more strength, more clarity. Focus is not about doing more. It is about doing the right things. Energy is finite. Attention is limited. Time is fleeting. Prioritizing essentials ensures each action carries weight, each decision has impact, and each day builds towards purpose rather than distraction. Comment below. Which non-essential are you removing today to reclaim your focus? Point 6. Emotion is not the enemy. Attachment is. Feelings are not your weakness. They are signals, guides, messengers that tell you what matters, what touches your soul, and what your instincts recognize as important. Anger, sadness, joy, fear, they arrive naturally, like waves in the ocean. The mistake is not in experiencing them, but in clinging to them, in allowing them to define your actions and control your peace. That is attachment. Stoic philosophy teaches that the mind achieves freedom not by suppressing emotions, but by mastering the relationship with them. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you respond that matters." When you hold too tightly to a feeling, hope, resentment, longing, you create invisible chains. Those chains dictate choices, distort perspective, and create suffering that is entirely optional. Imagine holding water in your hands. The harder you squeeze, the more escapes. Let it flow naturally, and you maintain the substance without struggle. Your emotions are the same. Observe them, feel them, acknowledge them, but do not clutch them. Let joy be enjoyed. Let anger be felt. Let disappointment be recognized, and then release. Attachment is the root of unnecessary suffering. Wanting situations to stay a certain way, clinging to outcomes, needing others' approval. These are the chains. They turn natural emotions into destructive forces. Release the grip, and the same feelings become allies. They guide decisions, highlight values, and enhance self-awareness without dictating life. In practice, notice when a strong emotion arises. Pause. Ask, "Is this guiding me, or am I holding on?" Breathe, reflect, and act intentionally. Repeatedly practicing this shifts the mind. Emotional storms no longer hijack judgment. You feel fully alive without being fully captive. Visualize a bird on your shoulder. It may land, perch, sing, even flap its wings, yet it does not control your steps. That bird is emotion. The chains you hold are attachment. Remove the chains, and your movement becomes free, graceful, deliberate. Comment below. Which emotion will you observe without clinging to today? Point 7. Self-respect grows when you keep promises to yourself. There is a quiet power in honoring your word to yourself. Not the loud promises you make to others, not the accolades you seek externally, but the private commitments that shape who you are when no one is watching. Every time you follow through on a promise to yourself, you are planting a seed of self-respect. Ignore it even once, and that seed wilts, unnoticed, but deeply felt. Think about it. The mind craves consistency. It thrives when actions align with intentions. When you tell yourself, "I will finish this task," or "I will rise early today," and then follow through, you reinforce an internal structure of trust. You prove to yourself that you are reliable, capable, and worthy of your own respect. Conversely, when you break promises, even minor ones, the mind records betrayal, doubt creeps in, and the foundation of self-worth shakes silently. Imagine a potter shaping clay. Each small decision, each moment of discipline adds to the form. Skip a step, and the structure weakens. Your character is sculpted the same way. Every time you honor your commitments, you add layers of strength, integrity, and dignity. Each choice is a vote cast for the person you want to become. The Stoics knew this instinctively. Marcus Aurelius emphasized that true greatness begins within, through inner consistency and honesty with oneself. Self-respect is not about pride or arrogance. It's about trust in your own word. When you keep promises to yourself, the mind stops negotiating excuses and distractions. You stop seeking validation from others because your own respect becomes sufficient. Practical exercise. Today, make one commitment. Something small but meaningful. It could be writing for 10 minutes, taking a walk, or completing a task you've been delaying. Follow through. No excuses. Feel the difference. That subtle shift, repeated daily, compounds into an unshakable sense of self-worth. Visualize your life as a path lined with stones. Every promise you keep places a stone firmly underfoot. Each stone builds a secure, steady path toward the person you wish to be. Break promises, and the stones shift, making your journey unstable. Integrity is built step by step, moment by moment, silently and steadily. Comment below. What promise will you honor today? Point 8. Consistency requires friction, not comfort. Progress isn't born in ease. True growth emerges when the mind and body meet resistance, when every step feels slightly uncomfortable, but you take it anyway. Comfort lulls us into stagnation. Friction, on the other hand, forges strength, resilience, and mastery. Consistency is not about doing what feels effortless. It is about showing up even when every instinct whispers to quit. Imagine a blacksmith hammering metal. Each strike is exhausting, each moment demanding more than the body wants to give. Yet with every blow, the metal transforms, becoming stronger, unbreakable, refined. Life and discipline work the same way. Repeatedly choosing the path that challenges you builds habits, endurance, and character. Avoid friction and nothing solid forms. Embrace it, and you craft a life of substance. The Stoics emphasized this principle centuries ago. Epictetus taught that external comfort is fleeting, but the control and growth achieved through deliberate effort are eternal. The mind wants ease, but your purpose demands friction. Your success, your consistency, your inner fortitude, these are all forged in the tension between desire and discipline. Here's the reality many ignore. Smooth paths rarely lead anywhere meaningful. Life doesn't reward comfort, it rewards persistence through challenges. Every small action that feels difficult, writing when tired, exercising when unmotivated, choosing focus over distraction, creates momentum that compounds over time. Consistency isn't a product of comfort, it is the result of daily confrontations with friction. Practical exercise. Choose one task today that challenges you. Maybe it's waking earlier than usual, tackling a project you've delayed, or confronting a difficult conversation. Do it fully, without excuses. Feel the tension. Notice the resistance. That friction is a signal. It is shaping you, quietly, steadily, invisibly. Think of life like shaping a diamond. Pressure and heat are painful, relentless, and unforgiving. Yet they transform a rough stone into brilliance. Avoiding pressure keeps the stone dull. Embracing it reveals its value. Consistency thrives in the heat, the push, the challenge. Comfort only produces stagnation. Comment below. What uncomfortable step will you take today to build consistency? Point 9. Long-term vision creates short-term discipline. Imagine standing at the base of a mountain. The peak is hidden in clouds, distant, almost impossible to see. Every step upward feels tedious, exhausting, and repetitive. Without a clear sense of direction, the journey seems pointless. But when your eyes fix on the summit, every difficult step gains meaning. That vision, long-term, unwavering, creates the discipline to take each small action today, even when the climb is steep. Short-term discipline is rarely exciting. Waking early, focusing on tasks, saying no to distractions, delaying gratification, none of it is glamorous. The mind craves ease and instant reward, yet vision acts as a compass. When the destination is clear, the uncomfortable choices of the present transform into necessary steps. Each small act aligns with a bigger purpose, giving structure and significance to what otherwise feels mundane. The Stoics knew this truth centuries ago. Marcus Aurelius emphasized the power of keeping the bigger picture in mind. Life's challenges are temporary. The growth you seek is long-lasting. The pain of discipline, when guided by vision, is no longer pain. It is preparation. Every sacrifice becomes an investment in the life you intend to live. Here's how it works in practice. Imagine a sculptor shaping marble. Each strike seems repetitive, sometimes frustrating. Without an image of the final sculpture, the effort is wasted. But with the end in mind, every chip, every brush of the hand is deliberate. Short-term discomfort is eclipsed by the clarity of purpose. That is how vision breeds discipline. Without this perspective, the mind wavers. Motivation falters. Temptations win. The small tasks feel meaningless, and consistency collapses. But with a long-term horizon, decisions that once felt tedious now serve a larger story. You begin to align every day, every choice, every action with the person you are becoming. Practical exercise. Write down a goal that matters deeply, 5 years from now. Then list one small, actionable step you can take today to move closer to that vision. Commit. Repeat daily. Let each action, however minor, be informed by the summit you're aiming for. Discipline is not magic. It is vision applied to daily life. Short-term discomfort transforms into lasting growth when every decision is tethered to the life you're determined to create. Comment below. What long-term goal will guide your actions today? Conclusion. In the end, everything you've learned comes down to one truth: who you choose to become and how you show up every single day. Discipline, identity, consistency, long-term vision. These aren't separate ideas. They are threads of the same fabric that shapes your entire life. Transformation never arrives in a sudden explosion. It's built quietly, through tiny decisions, repeated actions, and promises you refuse to break. The person you want to become isn't waiting in the future. They are shaped by the habits you practice today. Strength grows in silence, in discomfort, in friction, in moments where you choose the difficult path over the easy one. And when your mind is guided by a long-term vision, every small step gains meaning and direction. Your emotions may pull you backward, your mind may whisper lies, but your actions will always reveal the truth. Every day you honor your commitments, you strengthen your self-respect, and with every repeated action, you reshape your identity into someone unshakable. This inner battle is the real battlefield, and every small victory builds character, power, and a version of you that no chaos can break. Remember, life changes not through dramatic decisions, but through disciplined repetitions. The habits you repeat create the future you walk into. If this series inspired you, if these truths sparked even a small fire inside you, if they reminded you of the strength you've forgotten, then take a moment to support this journey. Like the video, share it with someone who needs it. Comment the promise you're making to yourself today. Subscribe for more content that strengthens your mind and transforms your life. Your transformation begins now, with one step, one decision, one act of discipline. The future you want is built today.